I love this part of the show when we talk about the headlines that affect your money first. And these are the things that, some of this other stuff, you're not going to have to deal with the self-deportation app, are you? But you are going to have to deal with the inflation. You are going to have to deal with the stock market. You are going to have to deal with the economy. Vance Barse is back on. He's a financial strategist. Welcome back to the James Show. And, Wall Street didn't do so well today, but we had 9 straight positive days before that. Vance, are we done with the whole convulsions from the tariff shock?
That's an excellent looking question, and we're going to unpack that. The stock market has been behaving like North Texas weather in the spring. It was nice and sunny to start the day a couple weeks ago, and then we had, some hail and a couple tornadoes, and now we're back in San Diego again. So I think ultimately the optimism around the jobs report that came out last week, payrolls grew by 177,000 in April, above the 133,000 that economists had predicted. That was great news. China made some noise about coming back to the negotiation table. And I always tell folks that the bond market speaketh, but the stock market reacteth, and the stock market is reacting to some very good news.
Well, I keep seeing reports that China, without any big fanfare, is slowly changing some of their tariffs and saying the opposite in their media. But I am seeing reports on this side of the pond that they're backing off some of their tariffs. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah. Keep in mind, we are China's largest customer. Regardless of what we see in the headlines, we have a deeply symbiotic relationship. We purchase a lot of the items that they manufacture and ship, and they also own a ton of our debt. So the relationship is very close, regardless of how it's presented to the public. And I think that ultimately, when enough economic pain is felt on either side, it will force the hand to make some concessions and realign these strongly separated tariffs that China has relative to the U.S.
So I am also seeing reports that China's economy is teetering on the brink. They can't do without their biggest customer for very long. If we do get some favorable trade changes with China, how big of a boost would that be to us, Vance?
It really depends on the extent to which our consumption can help boost their GDP. A lot of it also has to do with monetary policy. And when I start talking about the Federal Reserve and monetary policy, all of a sudden everyone has a very low rate of interest in the conversation.
Right.
But
it's not a very sexy topic, Vance.
That's right. But here's Bob with the weather, right? It's really important that we understand the economic fundamentals in China relative to here. We are China's largest customer, and Trump is absolutely correct in that there has been a huge trade imbalance for going on 4 decades now. And he's simply trying to realign that economic separation so that we're not necessarily superior, but it's a little more of an even playing field. And I think that insofar as the stock market is concerned, when market participants see that there is a 90-day reprieve in which both nations can come to the table and arrive at some type of conclusion, that optimism is baked in, and it's simply more good news.
So going forward, when this tariff thing is over, I see nothing but runway for the economy. Am I too optimistic?
I don't think so. Now, for 13 years, today's investors got used to zero interest rates because recall that when the Great Recession started, beginning in March of 2009, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates to zero, and interest rates largely remained at zero, concurrent with what is called quantitative easing, which is when the Federal Reserve and the Treasury create money to buy bonds and infuse liquidity into markets. During that window, we all got used to and conditioned to believe that when markets go down, we buy the dip. And that's what we have seen here on the retail investing side of things. And we're starting to see some economic data that says that despite the fact that the economy is structurally different after COVID, the base level of inflation, which historically has been 3%, is kind of right where we are. Growth is good. Jobs are good. The unemployment rate stood at 4.2%. So things are actually looking pretty optimistic.
All right. Sorry. All right, Vance Bars, thank you very much. You can find him online, Vance Bars, BARSE.com. He's got an office up in Prosper. And help us keep an eye on that economy, Vance. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's play Dead or Alive. Hey there. Welcome, James Show listeners, to another edition of Dead or Alive. Today's edition is the Immigrant edition. That's right. Everyone on the list today, I'm going to tell you who they are, what country they're from. All you have to guess is if they're dead or alive. Studio, calm down. Today on the line, $50 gift card, media from scratch, Flips Patio Grill or Winewood Bar and Grill. Let's get it started here with John. This is John and Keller. Are you ready for Dead or Alive?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Gloria Estefan. She's from Cuba, but is she dead or alive?
Alive.
She is alive. Next, former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. He's an immigrant from Germany. Is he dead or alive?
Dead.
Died in 2023. Beautiful actress Charlize Theron. She's from South Africa. Is she dead or alive?
Alive.
She is alive. 49 years old. I think I'm getting old. Mila Kunis. She was in That 70s Show, and then now she's Meg in Family Guy. Is she dead or alive?
Alive.
Yeah, should have said she was Meg in Family. Kind of gave it away. 41 years old. Eddie Van Halen. He's originally from Holland. Is he dead or alive?
Alive.
Eddie Van Halen died in 2020, sir. Hang on, John.
Okay.
Let's go to Chris in Fort Worth. You ready for Dead or Alive?
Absolutely.
Man, I got him on the Van Halen one. Natalie Portman. Her real name is Natalie Hirschlag. She's from Israel. Is she dead or alive?
She's alive.
She is alive. 43 years old. Arnold Schwarzenegger from Austria. Dead or alive?
Alive.
It's not a tumor. Alex Trebek, an immigrant from the great country of Canada. Dead or alive?
I'm going to go with dead.
Yeah, he just died a couple years ago. Audrey Hepburn, originally from Belgium. Is she dead or alive?
Dead.
Yes. Been dead. Well, finally, Chris, we have Anthony Hopkins. He's from Wales. Is he dead or alive?
My man is alive.
He is alive. 87 years old. Well done. All right, Chris. How'd you know all that, Chris? You watch a lot of movies and stuff? Is that what's going on? You just have good memory.
Yes, I've been, I watch a lot of good movies.
All right. Thank you very much. Hang on, Chris. I'm going to put you on hold. Garrett will get you information. You're getting a $50 gift card, good for either Media from Scratch, Flips Patio Grill, or Winewood Grill and Bar. Thank you for everyone for playing along in your car. I'm James Parker. This has been Dead or Alive. All right, next, it's not a game show, but it is its own segment. It's called What the Heck Did Jasmine Say This Time? Jasmine
Crockett, queen of the liberal tea. Bleach blonde, bad-built butch body, Governor Hot Wheels, and he is a hot-ass mess, honey. Queen of the liberal tea.
Do y'all remember the viral video that happened, I think it was 2 years ago, about these two parties that got in a fight at a boat dock in Montgomery? And there was sort of like a racial angle to it, but it really got out of hand. People were getting chucked into the river. And the highlight of it was when some guy went to town with the folding chair, right? Some people consider that an embarrassing moment for the community. Some consider that a bragging point for the community. Like Jasmine, she's speaking at a commencement address.
There are people that are going to tell you that there is not a table in which there is a seat for you. But I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you that we know how to use a chair, whether we pulling it up or we doing something else with it. Let me be the first one to tell you that I know that y'all are ready to put your boots on the ground. That's your cue. There we go.
Just music cues, y'all.
Hey.
Just choreography. This is a college graduation.
That are going to tell you.
That's a college graduation. She's bragging about smacking people with folding chairs, hitting her music cue. She has choreography. She got an honorary doctorate for that, too. That concludes today's edition of What the Heck Did Jasmine Say This Time?
Jasmine Crockett, queen of the liberal tea.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body, Governor Hot Wheels, and he is a hot ass mess, honey.
Queen of the liberal tea.
Well, I hope she stays in office and gets reelected over and over and over. She's too good for this show. Just too much material there. Love it. How'd the local elections play out? Will you have higher taxes? Well, the answer is yes for some people, but overall, it's hard to just say whether or not you liked an election that is this local and this decentralized. But I think overall, good result. Not great, but good. Number one, the thing that I was despising the most out of all the ballots in all the jurisdictions was this terrible, god-awful idea for a new Broadway musical theater in Frisco that was going to end up costing like $340 million. It was going to take $100 million from Prosper ISD that they had set aside to build their own theater and roll it into this other just terrible idea of a project. Plano already has a big theater that can do this. McKinney's in the process of building one right now. What do we need one between Plano and McKinney? We got to have a new Broadway acceptable theater like every 15 feet. So that got shot down. And I just, oh man, I can't tell you how happy I am and how the voters of Frisco, there's some smart people out there. Because so many of these other jurisdictions, I understand if you're Salina and you're experiencing explosive growth and your schools can't keep up. But it's been my experience that about 90% of the bond proposals that I've seen proposed for any locality are just terrible ideas. We got to revitalize our downtown, or we've got to revamp this old theater. Stop. They're all just god-awful ideas, right? And it didn't take much. I know in the Dallas County municipal elections, it only attracted 8.4 of the 1.4 million registered voters. That is a low turnout. There's some dastardly stuff under that, too. Do you realize for the voters in Dallas County, in just the past 14 months, you have been asked to go to the polls 7 times? That there has been 7 elections for Dallas County voters in the last 10 months. And I don't think we're done. Isn't one of these going to be a runoff too? But that's how it happens. There will be like the spring election, and then there will be another runoff here in a few weeks, and then there will be a primary where you got to go, and then there will be the runoff in the November, or sometimes the November election has a runoff that happens in December. So sometimes you can get like 4 votes in a year, and that kind of seems like a lot. But in the last 14 months, 7 elections? That's ridiculous. To do it not just in an off year, but not even in November, to do it in the spring of an off year, don't you kind of think that they're intentionally getting a lower voter turnout? Because why would they want a lower voter turnout? Oh, that's right, because then it doesn't take that many lackeys and payoffs to steal elections, or to not even steal, to win elections, to get legit votes more so. You can tell they're doing this on purpose. I don't like it. It's ugly. And not all big cities do this. Houston has its elections on November of odd years. So does Atlanta, Boston, Cleveland, Detroit, New York, Pittsburgh. So does it result in a better turnout? Well, yeah, down in Houston, when they're about to have their election in November, because this is an odd year, it's 2025. Their last one in 2023, November of 2023, the Harris County voters turned out 17.4% of eligible voters compared to our 8.4%. So more than doubled our turnout. Yeah, they're doing this on purpose. We had big school bonds passed in Salina, Melissa, and Blue Ridge. Now, Salina swears, I don't know if I believe this, maybe I'll come back on a future James show and correct it, but the people in Salina swear that this will not raise your taxes any. Yeah, we're going to spend $1 billion in new schools. We're going to build 7 new campuses, but it's not going to raise your taxes. I'm skeptical, but that's what they say. I just can't tell you, like, how proud I am of Frisco, though. Because not only did they shoot down that terrible idea, they shot it down by a lot because it was on Proposition A and B. And A said, can we use proceeds of the sales and use tax to go to this project? It was voted down 40% to 60%. So round of applause. It lost by 20 points. But on the new bond, Proposition B, the new bond that says $160 million for a city-owned theater for the arts project, it would actually end up costing everyone, when we put all the money together for this theater, $340 million. It was shot down by an even bigger margin. Oh, this warms my heart. I just swoon for you people in Frisco. I love you so hard. Only 33.3% of you voted for it. 64.6% voted against it. That just warms my heart. That just makes me so happy. I see so many cities just suffocating under existing bond debt that if they could go back and take it back, they would. And you really dodged a huge bullet with this, Frisco. And I'd like to say the James Show is what turned the tide here, but I doubt that. All right. Stick around, because come back. I should say stick around. We're about to be over. Come back tomorrow, because we're going to talk about this Alcatraz proposal. I want you to just mull this around in your head for a minute. What if we reopen Alcatraz? It's not that big of a footprint, but we made it a celebrity prison, and you could have tours there. So you could go to San Francisco, you could get on a little ferry, you go out to Alcatraz, and you could see Joe Exotic. You could see P. Diddy, well, whenever he's actually put away in prison for good. You could see R. Kelly. They don't all have to be like fun celebrities. You could maybe go see Jared from Subway, see if he's, keeping the weight off or whatever. But also, it gives you a chance to maybe put cameras all over the place and have like an amazing reality show, or maybe just some live stream that you can dip in on, and you can see if, R. Kelly and Joe Exotic are fighting in the yard again. Wouldn't that be great? So if you can think of celebrities you like to see in prison, come back to tomorrow's show, give me a call or send me an email. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. I just can't wait. All right, stick around. Mark Levin's coming up next. I'm about to go put up the podcast, and you need to go listen to that too. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.